Dragonflies can be mistaken for the closely related damselflies, which make up the other Odonatan infraorder, Zygoptera, and are similar in body plan though usually lighter in build. However, the wings of most dragonflies are held flat and away from the body, while damselflies hold their wings folded at rest, along or above the abdomen. Dragonflies are agile flyers, while damselflies have a weaker, fluttery flight. Dragonflies are predatory insects, both in their aquatic nymph stage, also known as naiads, and as adults. In some species, the nymphal stage lasts for up to 5 years, and the adult stage may be as long as 10 weeks, but most species have an adult lifespan in the order of 5 weeks or less, and some survive for only a few days. They are fast, agile flyers capable of highly accurate aerial ambush, sometimes migrating across oceans, and often live near water. They have a uniquely complex mode of reproduction involving indirect insemination, delayed fertilization, and sperm competition. During mating, the male grasps the female at the back of the head, and the female curls her abdomen under her body to pick up sperm from the male's secondary genitalia at the front of his abdomen, forming the heart or wheel posture. Fossils of very large dragonfly-like insects, sometimes called griffinflies, are found from 325 million years ago, Maya, in upper Carboniferous rocks. These had wingspans up to about 750 millimeters, 30 in, though they were only distant relatives, not true dragonflies. Dragonflies are represented in human culture on artifacts such as pottery, rock paintings, statues, and Art Nouveau jewelry. They are used in traditional medicine in Japan and China, and caught for food in Indonesia. They are symbols of courage, strength, and happiness in Japan, but seen as sinister in European folklore. Their bright colors and agile flight are admired in the poetry of Lord Tennyson and the prose of H. E. Bates. A dragonfly is a flying insect belonging to the order Odonata, infraorder Anisoptera, from Greek anisos anisos, unequal, and pteron, wing, because the hindwing is broader than the forewing. About 3,000 extant species of true dragonfly are known. Most are tropical, with fewer species in temperate regions. Loss of wetland habitat threatens dragonfly populations around the world. Adult dragonflies are characterized by a pair of large, multifaceted compound eyes, 2 pairs of strong, transparent wings, sometimes with colored patches, and an elongated body. Many dragonflies have brilliant iridescent or metallic colors produced by structural coloration, making them conspicuous in flight. An adult dragonfly's compound eyes have nearly 24,000 ommatidia each. Most odonatologists live in temperate areas, and the dragonflies of North America and Europe have been the subject of much research. However, the majority of species live in tropical areas and have been little studied. With the destruction of rainforest habitats, many of these species are in danger of becoming extinct before they have even been named. The greatest cause of decline is forest clearance, with the consequent drying up of streams and pools which become clogged with silt. The damming of rivers for hydroelectric schemes and the drainage of low-lying land has reduced suitable habitat, as has pollution and the introduction of alien species. In 1997, the International Union for Conservation of Nature set up a status survey and conservation action plan for dragonflies. This proposes the establishment of protected areas around the world and the management of these areas to provide suitable habitat for dragonflies. Outside these areas, encouragement should be given to modify forestry, agricultural, and industrial practices to enhance conservation. At the same time, more research into dragonflies needs to be done. Consideration should be given to pollution control, and the public should be educated about the importance of biodiversity. Habitat degradation has reduced dragonfly populations across the world, for example in Japan. Over 60% of Japan's wetlands were lost in the 20th century, so its dragonflies now depend largely on rice fields, ponds, and creeks. Dragonflies feed on pest insects in rice, acting as a natural pest control. Dragonflies are steadily declining in Africa, and represent a conservation priority. The dragonfly's long lifespan and low population density makes it vulnerable to disturbance, such as from collisions with vehicles on roads built near wetlands. Species that fly low and slow may be most at risk. Dragonflies are attracted to shiny surfaces that produce polarization, which they can mistake for water, and they have been known to aggregate close to polished gravestones, solar panels, automobiles, and other such structures in which they attempt to lay eggs. These can have a local impact on dragonfly populations, Methods of reducing the attractiveness of structures such as solar panels are under experimentation. A blue glazed faience dragonfly amulet was found by Flinders Petrie at Lahan, from the late Middle Kingdom of ancient Egypt. Many Native American tribes consider dragonflies to be medicine animals that had special powers. For example, the southwestern tribes, including the Pueblo, Hopi, and Zuni, associated dragonflies with transformation. They referred to dragonflies as snake doctors, because they believed dragonflies followed snakes into the ground and healed them if they were injured. For the Navajo, dragonflies symbolize pure water. Often stylized in a double-barred cross design, dragonflies are a common motif in Zuni pottery, as well as Hopi rock art and Pueblo necklaces. As a seasonal symbol in Japan, dragonflies are associated with season of autumn. In Japan, they are symbols of rebirth, courage, strength, and happiness. They are also depicted frequently in Japanese art and literature, especially haiku poetry. Japanese children catch large dragonflies as a game, using a hair with a small pebble tied to each end, which they throw into the air. The dragonfly mistakes the pebbles for prey, gets tangled in the hair, and is dragged to the ground by the weight. In Chinese culture, dragonflies symbolize both change and instability. They are also symbols in the Chinese practices of feng shui, where placements of dragonfly statues and artwork in parts of a home or office are believed to bring new insights and positive changes. In both China and Japan, dragonflies have been used in traditional medicine. In Indonesia, adult dragonflies are caught on poles made sticky with birdlime, then fried in oil as a delicacy. Images of dragonflies are common in Art Nouveau, especially in jewelry designs. They have also been used as a decorative motif on fabrics and home furnishings. Douglas, a British motorcycle manufacturer based in Bristol, named its innovatively designed post-war 350cc flat twin model the Dragonfly. Among the classical names of Japan are Akatsukuni, Chujin Guo, Akatsushima, Chujin Dao, Toyo Akatsushima, Li Chujin Dao. Akatsu is an old word for dragonfly, so one interpretation of Akatsushima is Dragonfly Island. This is attributed to a legend in which Japan's mythical founder, Emperor Jimmu, was bitten by a mosquito, which was then eaten by a dragonfly. In Europe, dragonflies have often been seen as sinister. Some English vernacular names, such as horse stinger, devil's darning needle, and ear cutter, link them with evil or injury. Swedish folklore holds that the devil uses dragonflies to weigh people's souls. The Norwegian name for dragonflies is øyenstikker, eye poker, and in Portugal, they are sometimes called tira-olhos, eyes snatcher. They are often associated with snakes, as in the Welsh name Gwaswyne idr, adder's servant. The southern United States terms, snake doctor, and snake feeder, refer to a folk belief that dragonflies catch insects for snakes or follow snakes around and stitch them back together if they are injured. Interestingly, the Hungarian name for dragonfly is Zitakodo, sieve knitter. The watercolorist Moses Harris, known for his The Aurelian or Natural History of English Insects, 1766, published in 1780, the first scientific descriptions of several Odonata including the banded demoiselle, Calopteryx splendens. He was the first English artist to make illustrations of dragonflies accurate enough to be identified to species, Eschna grandis at top left of plate illustrated, though his rough drawing of a nymph, at lower left, with the mask extended appears to be plagiarized. More recently, dragonfly watching has become popular in America as some birdwatchers seek new groups to observe. In heraldry, like other winged insects, the dragonfly is typically depicted tergiant, with its back facing the viewer, with its head to chief. A dragonfly has been genetically modified with light-sensitive, steering neurons, in its nerve cord to create a cyborg-like dragonfly. The neurons contain genes like those in the eye to make them sensitive to light. Miniature sensors, a computer chip and a solar panel were fitted in a backpack over the insect's thorax in front of its wings. Light is sent down flexible light pipes named optrodes from the backpack into the nerve cord to give steering commands to the insect. The result is a micro-aerial vehicle that's smaller, lighter and stealthier than anything else that's man-made.